After a successful fundraiser for Jolly Beer Month, Original Joe's was able to raise over $100,000 towards Western Canada food banks. The Lloydminster Salvation Army is a part of that list, and our Shelby Clark sat with them to speak with more details.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Bon Jennings with the Salvation Army. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Bon.
Thank you for having me once again.
No problem, no problem. Really glad to be able to have you on here because Original Joe's has just had their Jolly Beer Month fundraiser, and this is helping food banks across Western Canada. So really wanted to be able to speak with you from the Salvation Army standpoint and kind of just help get the word out. Now, how much of the proceeds did the Salvation Army here in Lloydminster receive from this?
We're receiving $2,751.
And from your perspective with the Salvation Army, how did it feel to be able to receive this?
It was very nice to know that they were doing this event, and it was great to be able to receive again from another organization in the community. Like I said before, this community is very supportive of the Salvation Army. Different organizations do different things, and we're the recipients of their work, and so it's much appreciated. This will help us to help others, and any amount that we get is greatly appreciated.
Now, I didn't know for sure if there was a set plan, but is there one for these proceeds that when it goes towards the Salvation Army? Is there really a set game plan for what you are going to be using these towards?
Well, basically, we'll go into our big pot of money, which will be used to continue and to hopefully further the different programs that we have, especially being able to support those in our community that are in difficulty, with being able to provide food and some more necessities that they may need at this time.
Now, other than Jolly Beer Month and seeing those proceeds and that support just from the month itself for that fundraiser, how has that support been for the Salvation Army recently?
This past let's say 3 months since the beginning of November, or even before, this community came alongside of us with different programs, different businesses, different organizations, and actually it's still going on. We're still having food brought to us on a regular basis, weekly basis. People and organizations are coming to our door and donating food items to us. So it's great to know and is greatly appreciated. Without the support of this community, we would not be able to do what we do. If I had to go out and purchase food to help people, I would probably need a good $500,000 to $700,000 a year. That's how much we are giving out on a yearly basis.
Well, that's really amazing to hear. I'm really glad to know that the Salvation Army is getting that strong support from people in the community and other organizations other than, of course, the Jolly Beer Month. So that's great to hear. Now, is there anything else that the Salvation Army is in need of right now, especially, with the winter season?
Not really. Like I say, food is still coming in. If people are interested in donating like household items, household needs, necessities like laundry soap, dish soap, things like that. That's some of the things that we don't get very much of. So food wise, any non-perishable item is greatly appreciated. We can put it to use. And again, I just want to say we had a very successful Christmas kettle campaign this year, and a big shout out to this community again, to the residents, to businesses, organizations who supported us and physically with standing on kettle, and also monetary with donating to the kettles. We had a very successful year, so that's good, because the 2 years of COVID was difficult years with regards to the kettle campaign. So this year it was great.
Well, like I was saying before, Bond, it's really great to hear how strong that support has been, especially from those proceeds from Jolly Beer Month. So I'm really glad we're able to speak and just help get the word out and talk a little bit on how Salvation Army has been doing these past few months. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's time for a look into the archives. Here is Jay Smackey with this week's Retrospect.
We start retrospect this week in 1994 as Border City residents react to the feds lowering the tobacco tax.
It will now cost smokers less to keep up the habit. Today's move by the federal government to lower tobacco taxes by $5 per carton has many people across Canada fuming. Here in the Border City, anti-smoking groups and health officials are joining in criticizing the move.
So certainly the action today is totally counterproductive to the very thing that we're trying to promote. Healthy lifestyles, wellness. We are concerned with healthcare costs. I think this is a backward step.
They're trying to curb smuggling, and I know it's going to be very expensive to curb smuggling by using the police. But on the other hand, I think it might cause an increase in the consumption of cigarettes, especially the young people.
But the one group definitely not unhappy with today's move is young people. Of the mixed group of Border City residents asked, more than half said it will now be easier for teenagers to get cigarettes and get addicted to nicotine.
Yeah, well, because it's cheaper. They don't have to, their allowances will cover it this time.
It's better because I don't have a job anyway, so I can afford them better.
I think it'll increase, or not really encourage, but increase smoking, the amount smoked, for sure.
It'll encourage them to buy more often.
With just a few disagreeing.
I doubt it. I doubt it. I smoke as much as I smoke. I don't think the price, people say, well, when it gets to such and such a price, I'm going to quit, but nobody ever does.
It hasn't slowed me down when they've gone up. I mean, I've gone from the 85-cent a pack to $6.50 a pack cigarettes now, so I don't think that lowering them a little bit is going to encourage a whole bunch more.
I wouldn't smoke. Bad for your health.
As for the provinces, don't look for the Alberta government to follow suit. They are waiting it out. And Saskatchewan is dead against the move, saying it will only open up the way for more health problems in the future.
And the mild temperatures in 1998 leaves Lloydminster streets slushy.
No, it's not a small mountain. It's actually a rut on a residential street. The unseasonably mild January has turned hard-packed snow into slush. Driving around has become a chore on some roads, so city cleaning crews have sharpened their blades and are coming to the rescue. But first, they have to get parked cars out of their way, and that seems to be a major stumbling block.
Houses is not quite as bad. Apartments is very difficult to find owners. Some are in Regina or Saskatoon, and some more in Ontario, so it makes it really hard.
City crews are going around door to door giving advanced notices. The trucks started in the southwest corner of the city and are working to finish up to Highway 17 and 36th Street. The trucks are breaking a sweat in some areas where the snow is deep. They don't have a grader by their side this year.
Traditionally, in the past, when we did a residential snowplow, there was too much on the ground in order for the trucks to actually accomplish anything. But this year, it's a relatively small amount of snow, and the trucks are capable of handling it.
After the streets are done, it's up to residents to clean up their sidewalks and driveways. Some say that's okay and that the roads have been well kept all winter.
I think it's just fine. The city can't possibly get to everywhere at once, and they're doing an all right job.
As far as the amount of snow, it's probably in the last 10 years is as little as snow as I've ever seen. And I guess you can't complain. Maybe other people can, but we sure can't.
Well, anyone who bought a snowblower this winter can complain.
Only used it twice. So, pretty expensive snowblower. But it'll come in handy in a few years, following years.
This has been our week in retrospect.
Retrospect this week is brought to you by Webb's Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webb's Ford in Vermilion.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
I had the chance to sit down with the coordinator of the LLIP on a survey he is doing to support immigrants here in Lloydminster. So I'm here with Kimo Mansoure on the LLIP, Immigration to Lloydminster. So Kimo, for the first question, what is the survey that you are conducting?
So, as you introduced me, my name is Kimo Mansoure. I am the lead coordinator for the Lloydminster Local Immigration Partnership. The partnership is about bringing agencies and organizations together to better serve and support immigrant settlement in Lloydminster. So to attract them, but also to retain them. Not only to attract them, but when they come, how do we keep them in Lloydminster? So this survey is one of those that actually is looking to see what services has been provided to immigrants and what services do they like? What services were they expecting to be in Lloydminster and is now there? Is that a factor that is making them want to move out of Lloydminster? What attracted them to Lloydminster? So these are some of the things. And the other thing is to also showcase the service providers. Either the Chamber of Commerce, the Learning Council, the Gateway for Newcomers, the city, the services that they are providing. Have they been helpful to them when they come? Do they find the services that is being provided, for example, Service Center? Do they like what they are seeing there? What changes do they think could be made to assist them? So these are some of the things, because as I said, one of the goals is not only to attract people to come to Lloydminster. If we're thinking of growth and increasing our economy, because people need jobs, companies need people to fill those positions. But when we attract them there, what is it that we retain them so that they can be part of the community society of Lloydminster?
Perfect. So what is the most important part of immigration to Lloydminster?
One of the bigger factors, majority of the immigrants coming, there are two key things that I've seen so far in my 5 years of actually doing this in Lloydminster. One, majority of those are coming for jobs. A lot of them are coming for jobs, but they are choosing Lloydminster because they believe in the small community feel, because they have been and they're coming from countries or from towns that are smaller. They don't like the biggest cities that has all this huge traffic and so many other things. Some love the farming, they can do gardening in the backyard and all these things. So they like that small rural community feel wherein they can access things easily and they know people around and they can do. So these are some of the key things that I've seen that is attracting people. But there are other things, and that's why I need to explore more, and that's why I'm doing this research.
Excellent. And for the last part, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Thank you so much. And as we're talking, Lakeland College, I think for the first time, the establishment over 25 years, maybe you may have heard that, they're doing a Black History Month as well. This Black Year. So I am partnering with them as well to make sure that the Blacks who are here actually got celebrated and the contributions they are bringing. We have Black professors at the college there, but we have people in the hospitals, people in various areas who are, and so we are hoping to have a series of activities throughout the month of February. Ben Akwe at the college is actually leading that project right now. So we're just in the process of getting things done. I think the 7th we'll be having Black storytelling. We have keynote speakers. We'll be having movie nights. So various other things that will be coming.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kemo. It was great having you on. Lakeland College men's basketball played Concordia this past weekend in back-to-back games. Our Callan Dunlop reports.
The weekend opened playing at Concordia, taking home the road win 91-86. Saturday's game was also quite the battle. The Rustlers came out swinging early, walking out of the first half with a 14-point lead. That didn't stop the Thunder from draining threes and making this a one-possession game with time to spare. With clutch hustle plays leading to fouls to offensive rebounding, the Rustlers got it done late in the fourth despite being outscored the whole second half.
Well, it's good. It's good to get back on track after we dropped a tough one a couple of weeks ago. So it's good, I guess, momentum builder for the rest of the season. But we have to clean up some things.
The team stayed strong to pull this win out, with rebounding being a key factor, out-rebounding them 49-33.
Man, we stay locked in. Coach tells us every day in practice we got to lock in and focus. So even in tough times and last times in the quarters, so we slipped back up, but we got it done. He always says good players find a way. So
size and the ability to get to the free throw line led to this weekend's back-to-back wins.
We're bigger than them, so we wanted to get inside. We crashed the offensive boards and got a couple of free throws on that. But you never really know how the officials are going to ref the game. So we're fortunate to get some free throws, and luckily we knocked down some.
The team walks into their next matchup against Medicine Hat with a 10-6 record. This has been Callan Dunlop, Primetime, Local News.
The Lakeland Rustlers women's volleyball team has had an excellent season. With a recap of last weekend's games, here's Thomas Wildman.
The Lakeland Rustlers came into the weekend with a 14-1 record and were ranked as the third best team in the country. The Rustlers started off the weekend at home against the Concordia Thunder. The Rustlers took care of business and won the game in a 3-set sweep. Sienna Trumier won the player of the game and has enjoyed being able to play teams from both conferences in the ACAC.
It's been really great, and being able to play all the teams this year has been really nice as well. Get to see every team before you go to playoffs. That's been sweet.
The Rustlers then finished off the weekend with a second victory over the Thunder on the road. Head coach Austin Dyer says his team is going to continue working and sticking to their game plan going into the playoffs.
We don't need to change anything. No, we play a certain style, and for us it's just about ensuring that we're consistent within the style that we play. And again, having the volleyball IQ and the smarts to be able to work against a different opponent, and come playoff times, we want to win the whole thing. We're going to have to beat three different teams in 3 days, and so having the ability to figure a team out and work through a new opponent each day is going to be really important. And again, that's part of having a veteran team that they've been through this, and they've had to do that throughout their career. And so yeah, for us, we got to stay healthy and just keep doing what we're doing.
A strong win for the Rustlers here coming down the stretch leading up to their playoffs. The next game will be against the Medicine Hat College this Friday, February 10th. For Primetime Local News, I'm Thomas Wildman.
Kanan, first off, thank you so much for joining me this morning to talk about your new song, Hate Me More. I discovered you with As Soon As You Leave. This song is incredible. As Soon As You Leave is so good. But then I heard Hate Me More and I'm like, here we go. Here is another song I'm going to have of his on repeat. But first off, before we get into your music, for anyone who's a little bit unfamiliar with you, tell us a bit more about yourself.
Yeah, well, thanks so much, first off, for the love on the songs. But yeah, it's I'm originally from North Carolina, so born and raised up in the mountains. Have you ever seen Hunger Games? All of that was taking place. That was all shot like around my house, up in the woods and stuff. But yeah, moved to Nashville late 2016, and just kind of did the hustle and bustle. I played on Broadway for a little bit, nothing too long. And then just kind of went on the road, just me and my guitar. This is the fastest version of this story ever. Playing all around the US on like a small secondary radio campaign that had done well, got me out of my serving job, and then put the band together. And certain things that kind of just lined up. And then I actually had a chance encounter during COVID. I went back to serving because obviously COVID sucked for everyone. Shows were canceled, festivals we were supposed to open up for a few folks, and I actually Bobby Bones, who's a big personality, radio personality, came into the restaurant. I just handed him a coaster with my name on it, and was like, "Hey, I'm an artist. Love your stuff, love your hustle." And he actually called me the next day and had me on a show, and it kind of got me out of post-COVID sludge a little bit. Just kind of made the phone ring a little bit. And that was actually before As You Leave came about. Before then, I had just written all by myself. Everything was mine. I just, didn't have really any kind of help along the way. And then that's when the phone started to ring a little bit. So shout out to Bobby Bones for helping our brother out. And then we got into rooms with, writing songs with writers and publishers and things like that. And actually, As You Leave was one of the first writes that I had. And that's pretty much it. Last year, I mean, we just kind of hit, the floor running with that song. And last year we dropped an EP, but got me back out of serve. I don't serve anymore, so thank God for that. But yeah, and we're here, and we're just trying to take on 2023 just as much as we did 2022.
That is so cool. And I apologize for calling it As Soon As You Leave. I have memorized the song like the back of my hand. So
Yeah. No, you're fine.
I sing it quite a bit in the shower.
Good. Sing it out loud and sing it proud. Yeah, As You Leave. That was As Soon As You Leave. We were thinking about putting that as the title, but we thought As You Leave was cool. And plus, I don't know, we just didn't want so many. It's as soon as you leave. But yeah, I'm so glad you like the song, and it's great that you like Hate Me More as well. And that it's very, if you haven't heard the songs, they're both very similar sounding as far as like sonically. And kind of that aggressiveness. I always try to, or beforehand when I started kind of really getting my brand on music, people are like, "What is this? Is it pop? Is it country? Is it?" I was like, "It's if Maroon 5 went country like in 2010." And I mean, some people might hate that or not or whatever, but it's it's just kind of got the authenticity of the country lyrics, but just mixed with a little bit of some aggressive pop guitars and stuff. So
You did just release Hate Me More, once again, an absolute bop. Tell us a bit more about this song and how you wrote it and how it came to be.
yeah, I had the idea on the way to the right. Is Scott Stepikoff and Eric RJs. We were on the way, and I kind of like to have a game plan. Sometimes rides can go really, really long because you do get to chatting and stuff. So I'm always like, "Let's go, guys. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. Like, I gotta go. Like, let's do this stuff." So I like to YouTube reference tracks. So I'll be like, whatever, Imagine Dragon type beat in YouTube, and then it'll just kind of give you sounds. And then so just I like to write off of the emotion of a song rather than being like, I do it both ways. But this song in particular, I kind of had this idea, and it was one of those things where I had that idea as far as like, I tell everyone I hate you, but I hate myself more because I actually don't. And we actually had that. It was those words. It was like, I hate myself. And those kind of things. We were like, maybe that's a little too harsh on like your mental health or whatever and stuff. And so I came in with the idea, and then Scott, I love writing with Scott. Scott was also a co-writer on As You Leave. And so him and I have really teamed up and started writing really well. And as you can tell or hear, have a lot of energy. I'm just all this. And so I love to come with writes with kind of the ideas of everything. And then I will throw out 8,000 different ideas of what it could be. I direct and edit all my music videos, and sometimes that comes into my writing as well. And so instead of like writing this thing, I'm like, all right, cool. So like if we came in, like imagine if all of a sudden you're at this whatever, and then she says this, and then she walks away, and the camera pans around, and it's like this. And so try to like paint that picture to them, and then they take all of my gobbledygook of words and take the best ones and put them together. So I loved them too for that. In that right, because I was super excited about the song, and I was like, all I know is I just want it to be in the chorus. We're just here, and we were going to make it a longer chorus, but I was like, no, like we said what we said to, like, I tell everyone I hate you, got everyone in this town fooled, I tell everyone I hate you, but I hate myself more. And then we were out. So yeah, that's kind of, I mean, there wasn't any kind of big story to it or anything. I mean, I think we've all been in that place before. A lot of my songs come from either my ex before my wife, who a lot of my songs are about the bad stuff. And then if it's a happy song, it's about, you know, my wife, like As You Leave. That song, we did long distance for a while. She's from the UK. And so the times we did get to spend together, I mean, even when I was with her and she was like, I'm just going to run and like get gas or something, or petrol, as they call it. I'm like, oh my God, like I miss you already. And that's where that song came from. But yeah, I try to pull off of all the emotions and Hate Me More, a little bit of the wife in there, because you know, we broke up a long time ago and then we're apart for 3 years, and you kind of, it was actually a little bit of her. She told me that she had told a lot of other people that she was like, yeah, like she said she would make up stories in her head about me. Like she would like, not like a psychopath, but in her head, she would have to like tell, like make up bad things about me to be over me, kind of a thing. And then so that kind of sparked it. So I'll give her half the royalties. How about that?
That's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Who hasn't made up stories and told themselves stories about someone just to get over them?
Yeah, exactly. So it's now that I say that, I remember that was kind of the preface to that. I was like, I tell everyone I hate, you know, but we still loved each other. So thank God.
Well, thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes with me this morning. Is there anything else you want to mention or talk about today?
Nah, just go. Thank you so much for having me on, and stream away.